Hi everyone, my name is Nazutasha binti Muizran. I'm taking the introduction part. Today I'll be explaining how ICT and educational support programs are being used in Malaysia primary schools, especially for students from B40 families. In Malaysia, the Ministry of Education has introduced many initiatives to help students succeed. This includes digital learning tools and support programs like RMT, free meals, SPBT, free textbook, Takaful insurance, and BAP, which is a school financial aid. The aim is to introduce the education gap, support students' well-being, and make sure every child gets a fair chance. Next, for the statement of the problem, to understand how well these programs work in real situations, I interviewed two people, one a headmaster from a government school and two a teacher from a private school. Even though the ministry has provided good support, the implementation is different depending on the school. Government schools receive financial and welfare help, but they face issues like poor internet, electricity cuts, and lack of digital tools, while the private schools are more advanced in digital learning and teaching, but they don't receive the same financial help from the government. This shows that having support programs is not enough. What really matters is how schools are able to use them, and that depends on leadership, location, and community supports.
Hi everyone, I'm Hiraya, and today I'm going to talk about what headmaster and teachers think about support programs and technology in primary school in Malaysia. So for research question number 1 is, how do they feel about education support programs? So for Mr. Zulkifli, a headmaster from SK Cucu Putri, said programs like SPBT, RNT, and BAP are very helpful. They help poor families by giving them free books and food. Because of this, students come to school more and join class and even get healthier. Ms. Tashima, a teacher from a private school who used to teach in public school, also agrees that SPBT is very good for students who can't afford books, and also it helps them study better and also feel more ready in class. So for research question number 2 is, how does ICT help in teaching and learning? Ms. Tashima's school has many digital tools like smart TVs and devices for every student. She used apps like Google Classroom, Kahoot, and quizzes to make a lesson more fun. Even when the internet is slow, she still learn new things and use technology in fun ways. But for Mr. Zulkifli's school, has some problems because his school is in the village, so they have slow internet and also not enough devices. Some teachers also don't know how to use technology. But still, the school is trying to improve by forming a digital team and giving training to help teachers use tools like Google Classroom. For research question number 3 is, what problem do they face with ICT and how do their views differ? So for Mr. Zulkifli said that the big problem is weak internet, not enough devices, and some teachers are not confident with technology. He believes that they need more training and better equipment. So for Ms. Tashima, sees ICT as something very useful. He says students are more excited and active when technology is used. It also helps teachers and students communicate better and make learning more fun. He wants the government to spend more money to improve digital classrooms. Now I will move on to the literary review. This means that the government and researchers say that how technology and support programs are used in Malaysia and primary school. So there are 3 main topics I will explain. Number 1 is digital education policy, which is DAP. Second is schooling and learning assistance programs. And last is textbook loan scheme, which is SPBT. First, DAP is planned by Ministry of Education to help school use technology better. The goals of DAP are help school leaders and teachers use digital tools. Second, make sure teachers and students have digital skills. After that, give all schools fair access to internet and devices, and use platforms like Delima and Google Classroom for learning. So, this plan works well in city school because they have better internet and more devices. But in rural school, there are problems like slow internet and not enough tools. So, even though DEP is a good idea, not all schools can use it fully. Point number 2 is schooling and learning assistance programs. Next are support programs for poor students, especially from B40 families. So, for some example of these programs are BAP, which is Bantuan Awal Persekolahan, which is they give money to help students when the school starts. Second is RMT, which is Rancangan Makanan Tambahan. This is free meals for some students. Third is PSS, which is Program Susu Sekolah, is free meals to improve health for the student. And last is IKC and KWAPM, which is Kumpulan Wang Amanah Pelajar Miskin, which is special help for very poor families. So research shows that these programs help students in many ways. Students attend school more, their health improves. This program also helps students stay in school and do better in their studies. Last point is SPBT. When we have SPBT, these programs give free textbook to every student in government school every year. It's very helpful for families who cannot afford to buy books. Students can do revision at home. They are more confident to join class, and they can follow lesson more easily. And also these programs support the goals of giving equal education for all students. In conclusion, research shows that ICT tools and programs like SPBT, RMT, and BAP are very helpful, especially for students from poor families. That's all from me.
Hi, so for my research, I talked to 2 teachers using Google Meet, and I wanted to find out how schools in Malaysia use government help and digital tool in class. So I asked some questions, but I also let them share their own stories. I wrote down notes and recorded the sessions to make sure I got everything right. So, the first teacher works at the government school in a rural area. Her school gets help like free food, textbooks, and uses the Lima platform. But she said that the internet there is really slow, so online learning is still hard. Then, the second teacher works at a private school, and they don't get government help, but they use a lot of tech like Google Classroom and also quizzes to teach. And I also found it really interesting on how different the schools are and how internet and support can really affect the learning.
And now, with the findings, let's start with the government school. The headmaster shared that students receive help like SPBT and Tagaful, and some students qualify for RMT and BAP, but just based on their household income. These programs help reduce family burden and encourage students to attend school, especially the free meals, which make school more exciting for them. However, the school also faces challenges. For example, the internet connection is weak, especially since the school is in a hilly area and power cuts happen often. Some teachers are not confident with digital tools. Parents are sometimes late in sending in income forms or give wrong information. To overcome these issues, the school uses its computer lab for lessons and YouTube for educational videos. They use the Dilemma platform too, They use Dilemma platform, Google Classroom, and QR codes for attendance. They also form a digital committee to help improve ICT usage and build partnership with others. Now, for the private school, the teacher explained that they don't get any financial aid like SBPT or RMT. Students must buy their own books. The only government support they receive is Takaful insurance. However, their digital facilities are very good to compare. Each class has smart TVs or projectors, strong internet, and students use Microsoft Teams to receive notes and do homework. The teacher uses tools like Kahoot, Google Forms, and encourages students to do creative work using their phone, such as taking photos and making videos. Although they sometimes face internet overload when many devices are connected, the teacher continues to improve by attending training and learning online. In conclusion, both governments and private schools have different strengths and weaknesses. Government schools receive more financial support but lack proper ICT infrastructure. Private schools have strong digital tools but don't get much financial help. This shows us that to ensure fairness, we must consider not only the existence of programs but also how they carry out in different school environments. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, now let's move to our discussion. Now I will share the main points that we got from our interviews. So what we found from our interviews about school sports programs and ICT, we talked to a teacher from a private school and a principal from a public school. They both share different views because their school situations are not the same. In public schools, the government gives help like free textbooks, food programs like RMT, and money support like KWAPM. This is very helpful for students from poor families. It helps them come to schools more often, eat healthy food, and get ready for learning. But public schools also face many problems such as internet is not stable, some teachers are not confident using digital tools, and some parents do not give full support. They try to solve this by using the computer lab and sharing information through WhatsApp and Telegram. In the private school, the teachers say that they don't get government help. Students have to buy their own books, but the school is very good with digital tools. Like every classroom has internet and smart TVs. Teachers are using Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, Kahoot, and other apps to make lessons fun and interactive. So we saw that public schools get more support from the government, but private schools are stronger in using ICT. Both are doing their best, but they have different strengths and weaknesses. So to conclude, both types of schools know that help from the government and digital tools are important, but how well they use them depends on the school's situation. Public schools need more digital tools and better internet, while private schools have good ICT but no free government help. We need to make sure all schools get equal support to help students learn better. So to reflect, after doing this interview, I learned a lot personally. I used to think all schools are the same, but now I know they have different problems and ways of doing things. I also see how hard teachers and school leaders work to help students even when things are not easy. This makes me want to be a better teacher in the future. I hope I can help my students by using digital tools and by understanding their needs. I want to make learning easier and more fun for them, no matter which school I work at, like private school or public school. So thank you. That's all from us.